Going on, folks? What's going on, folks? Hopefully everybody can hear me all right. It is currently 6:59. I I do my best to try and be punctual about doing things because I hate when people say they're having a webinar at 7 or 8 o'clock and it doesn't start until 8:20 or 20 minutes later, 15, 30 minutes later, so I try to make sure that I get on here on time. Sometimes, especially when you're using Google Hangouts and stuff like that, you can run into tech issues and stuff like that. So I'm here. I'm here on time. It is now officially 7 o'clock, and I'm going to talk to you guys for a couple seconds, maybe about 2 or 3 minutes before I go ahead and get into what I wanted to cover today. But the main thing that a large majority of the people that I talk to have trouble doing is generating leads in their business. And I actually sent out a survey to my list a while back, and the information that I got back on that survey basically solidified the fact that number one, 90% of the people who turned in the survey were all doing free advertising. Now, that's the first problem because if you're doing all free advertising, that means that you're doing the slow stuff because very, very few things that you can do for free in terms of advertising and marketing your business will bring you the results that you want fast and quick and in a hurry. Those things like blogging and YouTube videos and writing articles, press releases, whatever the case may be, all that stuff, number one, it requires an investment in your time. So not only are you having to invest a lot of time into creating the content for it, but at the same time, that stuff, it takes a little while for it to show up. So if you're writing blog posts or whatever and you're trying to get your blog post to show up on the internet, it's going to take a while before that blog post shows up on Google and stuff like that until you get your website established. Once you have your site established, then your website will show up a little bit faster and stuff like that. But so using the free methods, they work. Now, what I can say as far as using free methods is that the direct approach is probably the fastest thing that you can do to get results. So, for example, if you were to go on Facebook and other websites where you have access to human beings and you actually contact those human beings right there, right then and there, and you just approach people, and you're going to face a lot of rejection using those type of methods. You're going to face a lot of people who call you a spammer or whatever the case may be, but at the end of the day, you need to make the determination, how serious am I about being successful in whatever it is that I'm doing? Because you're going to have to do stuff that's uncomfortable. You're going to have to do things that you don't necessarily want to do in the beginning. But the thing is that the more you do this stuff, the more comfortable you'll become doing it. Just like me, I've been online for a long time, and I've had the information that I need to know in order to be able to do things like I'm doing now, like to hold hangouts and to hold webinars and things like that. But for whatever reason, I always had an aversion to doing live trainings, and I'm not really sure why, but at some point you just have to start breaking out and stepping into your fears and doing things that you're not necessarily comfortable doing until they become comfortable. And once you do that long enough, you'll start to see a whole different side of yourself, and you'll start to see different results. Because I'm going to let you know here and now, like, all this stuff out here that these people are saying that you don't have to do anything, you don't have to talk on the telephone. Some of that is legitimate to an extent, but if you don't want to talk to people on the telephone, you're not going to make as much money. So you need to be able to work on yourself and your skill set in order to be able to get better at communicating with people, because if you don't know how to communicate, then you're not going to make nearly as much money as the person that's willing to sit there and pick up the telephone and call their leads back and so on and so forth. So pretty much, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I want to let you guys take a look at one of the tools that I use in order to generate leads and stuff like that. So if I have time, I'm going to try and keep this training under an hour, no longer than an hour. But I'm going to show you how it works. I'm going to give you a live demo of what it is that I'm doing in order to generate all these leads. Because like I said, if you don't have leads, then you're gonna be stressed out, So you have to find out a way to generate leads. And like I said, you can do the free stuff. I do free stuff. I blog, I make videos and stuff like that. But nowadays there's people on YouTube getting your channel shut down. You got 100 videos that you put on there, and then next thing you know, you go to log into it and it's telling you it's suspended, because there's weirdos out there who like to get your videos flagged and shut down for whatever reason. And like right now I'm using Google Hangouts or whatever, and there's a likelihood somebody may try and get my account shut down on here. And in the event that they do, I've already taken a copy of this video and put it on my blog with my own video hosting. So I never, ever, 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 ever post a video on my blog with YouTube videos. I always host my own videos and keep my own stuff on my blog. That way, if my YouTube channel gets shut down, I don't have to go back through my blog and change 100 different videos, and because there's a bunch of incomplete content on your website. And Google will penalize you for that if you have a bunch of stuff on your website that's not relevant. So if you have videos on your blog, if you blog and you're putting YouTube videos on your blog, you're doing it wrong. You need to get your own video hosting through Amazon. I believe it's Amazon S3 or something like that. I use them, and I use Easy Video Suite. So any video that you see on my blog is hosted by myself, so it won't get shut down, okay? So that's just a quick tip that you need to understand. So what I'm about to do here is actually share my screen here with you in a second. Let me get everything set up here real fast so I can make sure that I do this as streamlined as possible. I don't want to have to do a lot of extra stuff that I should have already had set up. Okay, so let me take a look-see and see, make sure everybody. I think I forgot to put the Facebook comment thing underneath this video here on the page. So I'll have to add that next time, because I don't really want to delay you guys anymore right now by going and putting that on there. So pretty much, let's go ahead and log in here to the tool suite that I use to do what I want to show you. Okay, so let me find the screen share thingy here. All right, screen share, where are you? Okay, so I think everybody should be able to see my screen by now. And if you can not see my screen, what I want you to do is I want you to go on Facebook and send me a message on Facebook. If we're friends on Facebook, send me a private message and let me know if you're having trouble seeing my screen. I'm pretty sure everybody can see my screen though, but just in case. So let me come on over here. All right, so this is actually something that I've been using for years in order to generate leads and sales in my businesses. And a lot of people are unfamiliar with this, but it used to be called LeadNet Pro. And what it actually does is it lets you basically create an unlimited amount of leads. Let me close this out here real quick. Yeah, so it lets you create an unlimited amount of leads. So 90% of you watching right now, all of you are in the home-based business niche. The majority of you are already in some type of business, or you've done a business in the past. So I'm referring to network marketers and internet marketers and home-based business people when I show you the demo of this software, because you can use this for a lot of different things, but for the purpose of this training, we're going to just stick to network marketing and things like that. So the first thing that you want to do is, if you're looking for more leads and more people to get involved in your business, you want to find people that are already affiliated with the home-based business arena, the home-based business niche. Why do you want to do that? Because talking to your friends and talking to your family, trying to get them to join you and stuff, is the easiest way to discourage you to the point where you don't want to do the business anymore. The average person can only handle so much rejection before they get fed up and say, I'm not doing this. This doesn't work. Then that's natural. That's a natural response. And the reason that is because those people don't have enough personal development. You need to have thick skin to be able to take 20 people, 30 people telling you no before anybody says yes. And in those type of scenarios, you have to think, what is the reason why? I know a lot, that's a cliche term in internet marketing and network marketing, is what's your why? What is your reason why you're doing this? What is the reason why you wake up in the morning? Is your why enough to make you cry? What makes you cry when you think about what you really want to accomplish, what you want to do for other people, so on and so forth. And it's important that you identify that, because if you don't identify what it is, the reason why you're doing what you're doing, when 20, 30 people say no to you, you're going to quit. Point blank. You're just going to get sick of the rejection and you're just going to give up and quit. Okay, so I'm using two websites for an example right now, because I'm giving you the option to pick between the two, because they're both basically the same thing, but they're two different websites. Now, there's one called npros.com, and then there's another one called mlmrankings.com. And basically what these websites do is they show you all the new companies that are out. And this one here has a directory, a new company directory right here, so you can click on new companies. It'll show you all the companies that are new. Then you can come up here and you can click on company directory, and it'll show you basically all the companies that are listed on this website from A to Z. Okay, so there's literally thousands of network marketing companies in existence right this minute. So if you don't like the layout of NPros, you can always use MLM Rankings. And MLM Rankings looks like this. And MLM Rankings is a little bit different, because it actually shows you how much popularity a website has, how much popularity they've gained over a specific amount of time. Okay, so like you can see here, this particular month we have about 10 companies here that have had pretty decent gains in popularity. Now, don't ask me how they go about making the determination of how the popularity is created, but that's just what they have here. So it's still a good resource, because I'm sure like a large majority of these companies I've never heard of, like Jewelcade and Grace Adele. I've heard of Jamberry Nails. Jewelry and Candles I've never heard of. Ava Anderson, Non-Toxic, I have no idea. Nutrimedics and Rastelli Direct, all that stuff is stuff that I've never heard of, but I'm sure those companies obviously have people interested in them, or they wouldn't have gains and popularity. Okay, now if we come down here for the top performers for the last 6 months or so, we can see, I don't know how Global Domains is on here so high, because Global Domains has been out since 1999, and there's a lot of people join Global Domains and quit right away. But Wake Up Now, Legal Shield, formerly known as Prepaid Legal, Janbury Nails on there again, a company called Leafit, Unique, Total Life Changes, Undercover Wear, Regal Wear, and In a Pickle. So you have all these options here. So let's just say, for example, that I want to talk to some people that are in one of these opportunities. So let's just pick the first one. Okay, let's just randomly pick the first one. So let's go over here to automatic lead tools. Now, what I'm going to do is, there's a process called data mining, and some people call it lead scraping, but it's the same thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go into the data mining software. So I'm going to click on the software here, and then I'm going to come down here to the bottom of the page, and then I'm going to click on Access Software right here. Okay, so now the software is up, and the software is actually giving me the opportunity to search the internet for whatever I want. Now, in this particular instance, I'm going to be searching for Global Domains International. That's what we said we were going to search for. But you actually have the opportunity to search Google. You can search Bing. You can search Merchant Circle. You can search Yelp. You can search Craigslist, and you can search Backpage. Okay, now, I don't want to go off on a tangent, but what I do want to tell you is that there is so many ways you can use this to make money outside of the home-based business niche. Now, a quick example before I search for global domains is, if you were to use Merchant Circle, you were to use Yelp, or you were to use Craigslist, those are platforms that you can actually use for more of a brick and mortar type of business. So let's say, for example, that you wanted to target pizza shops. You could go in Merchant Circle and target pizza places, and if you live in a fairly decent sized city, you're going to come up with hundreds, maybe thousands of results. And then maybe you want to offer something to those people, like a tool that they can use to contact people to come in and purchase their sales or their discount deals, or whatever the case. These are the type of ideas that you can do with this software. Now, I don't want to, that's a whole different can of worms. We might have to do that on a different day. So right now I'm going to go ahead and stick with the script. Okay, so let's go ahead and type in Global Domains International here, and then we're going to click on Extract Leads. Okay, now while I'm talking here, what is actually happening in the background is this white box here that you see underneath compiling emails and phone numbers is actually populating full of emails and phone numbers for the keyword Global Domains International. So in a couple minutes here, maybe a minute or two, a file is going to pop up on the screen, and it's going to be a CSV file or an Excel file, and it's going to have the list of a bunch of emails, and it's going to have a list of a bunch of phone numbers. Now, being that Global Domains is a 15-year-old company, this might take about 3 or 4 minutes. So while it does this, normally you can actually see the information populating inside of the box. Now, I think that because of the computer that I'm using, the processor is a little bit slower than my other computer that I use. Sometimes you can't see it because the processor probably can't handle it. But what I could do right now is I could click on complete extraction. And if I was to do that, go ahead and click it now. You can see I already generated 1,794 email addresses for global domains. And if you come over here, I've created 284 phone numbers for global domains. Now, if I come back here, up here to the top here, you'll have a list. So anything that you've searched, you'll actually have a list for it in this section here called extracted lists. So if I was to click on extracted list, you can see here that it gives me a list of everything that I've done a search for. And you can download these, and basically there's different things that you can do with these. You can actually contact them on the phone one by one, obviously, if you want to. You can email them individually if you wanted to. That's the guaranteed way to hit their inbox. Now, obviously, if you have 2,000 emails and you're trying to get all of those sent out individually one by one, that's going to take you quite some time. So there are shortcuts that you can use, but you have to always remember that a shortcut is always going to take away from doing something in a certain way. I don't want to say what's the right way or what's the wrong way, but what I do want to say is that taking shortcuts is usually always going to not necessarily give you the results that you wanted or that you could have had by doing it in a different way. But what I mean by shortcuts is you can use bulk email software. If you know any good bulk email software that actually works, then you can use that. But after you've come up with the bulk email software, you need to actually have an idea in terms of um, how are you going to approach them? Because especially when you contact a strange person, a cold lead by email, a lot of those people tend to get a little irate sometimes. Sometimes they get a little belligerent with you because of the way that you're contacting them. But again, at the end of the day, how bad do you want to be successful in what it is that you're doing? You see, you can't let one or two people who are bad apples ruin your plans, because your goal, just like my goal and anybody else's goal that is online trying to make money, is obviously to have freedom to some extent. And not only that, but your goal is to be able to have a better quality of life and possibly be able to travel more, do more for your family, get a better car, buy a bigger house, whatever the case may be. Everybody is different, everybody is an individual. So you need to really think about what it is that your motives are when people are being nasty and people get belligerent with you about what it is that you're contacting them about or whatever. And there's a right way and a wrong way to do everything. I mean, if you approach a person in the right way, just tell a person, hey, listen, um, I know this is out the blue or whatever, but I just wanted to talk to you. I saw that you were in Global Domains International, and I wanted to ask you if you were open to looking at something that can help you make more money or get more sales or get more leads in your global domains business. Yes or no? You gotta just be simple. People try so hard to overcomplicate things that if you would just take the simple approach, it would be a lot easier. And you're being transparent. The more transparent that you are, the better your results will be. See, when you try to be sneaky about it and do things like that, people get upset sometimes. So, I actually have a bulk emailer that I use. It's not really a bulk emailer, but I'm going to show it to you real quick here. Um, Let me type it in here real quick. For whatever reason, I have a awful time typing when I'm talking. I've tried and tried and tried to talk and type at the same time, and it's just like my brain just does not allow me to do that. Okay, so This is a little tool that I got when I joined a program called Build My Income Daily. And if you want to get access to this, I will actually give you a link for it. Build My Income Daily, I think it's $120 one time, and then you make $100 per referral off of it. Now, I'm not necessarily using this as some type of blatant sales pitch, but I'm just showing you here a method that you can actually use to email some of these folks. So let's go back over here and grab that list of people from Global Domains. So let's download it real quick. And these are emails. Okay, so let's download this to my desktop, and I'm going to open it up. Now, one thing that I did want to show you guys is that whenever you open up a list, you should always, always, always check for duplicates, because sometimes there will be duplicates. Okay, so what the way to, you can obviously see there's duplicates there already if you can see the screen. Okay, so the easiest way to do that is if you hover over the row that you're in and you click on it, it will highlight that row. Then at the top of Excel, you come over here to where it says data at the top. Click on data, and then you can see down here you have options. You can come right here and it says remove duplicates. Okay, so this box may pop up. If you get this box, it says expand selection on the top, and then below it says continue with the current selection. So click on continue with the current selection, then click on remove duplicates. Now this box is going to open up, and you can see up here where it says my data has headers. So if you don't know what a header is, the header is where it says email, base website, and web location. So this does have headers, so I'm going to click on that, and then now you can see it says email right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and then now it just got rid of 1,136 duplicates and removed them, and I still have 1,684 unique email addresses. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and delete these two rows, because these rows are basically here just to show you where you got your leads from, so most of them, it looks like a lot of these came from YouTube or whatever. So now I have just flat out email addresses. So let me go ahead and change the file type, because I'm going to save this as a text file so I can actually do this a little bit easier. So text, tx, text tab delimited. Okay, I think that's right. Okay. Okay, so now I just saved a copy of this as a text file. So let's see if I can find that real quick on my desktop. I know my desktop is a little cluttered here. Okay, what was that file called again? um, uh, hang with me here 1 second while I find. Okay, here it is. Okay, so now this is the actual file that we just changed into a text file. So how this bulk email software works is, let me go back to it real quick. How this software works is I'm going to add the names of the emails in this box right here. Then I'm going to put the from email as whatever email address that I want to show up. Then I'm going to put my name here and write my subject and write my email body. Okay, so the first thing I always do with the names here is you have to have commas in these names, just in case you didn't know. So there's a lot of names here, so you could go to the end of each one and add a comma, and that would probably take you about 7 days or so to do that. Or you could use this little nifty trick that I use sometimes when I'm doing stuff, and click on edit here. If you're on a Windows computer, you should have Notepad by default. Now, if you're using a Mac and there's a program similar to Notepad, then use that. But whatever program you're using, you need to have a find and replace function. Okay, so I'm going to click on replace, and I'm going to actually let you see what happens here. So what I do here, and I just really thought I was just like the slickest guy ever when I figured this out, because I was actually going one by one putting in the commas one day, and I said there's got to be a better way to do this. So I just clicked on find what, and I typed .com. So replace with, I typed .com, comma. So basically, every single .com is going to have a comma next to it now. Okay, and you can see there. So now you just do a quick scroll through, because .com is not the only website name. So they have .ws, and .ws is actually the website names that Global Domains actually came out with those. Global Domains was the first domain registrar that actually offered .ws. Okay, so click on that, replace that, and then you have .net. So let's do .net real quick. Replace with .net, comma. Okay, so you can see it took me every bit of maybe 20-30 seconds to add about 1,600 commas to all these websites here. And there's a few of them sometimes that'll have weird endings, like this one right here has .com.my. So to fix that, you just do the same thing. Go to replace, type in, and see my .coms all have commas next to them. So in order to fix that, I just type .com, comma, .my, and put .com, .my, comma. Okay, so get that comma out the way and put it where it's supposed to be. Okay, so now you need to know what your hosting provider allows in terms of how many emails you can send in an hour. Okay, so I'm using JustHost for this particular account, because this bulk email software, you add it to your hosting account. Okay, so my hosting account allows me to send 750 emails per hour. I have it set at 500 though right now. So I'm just gonna go grab a nice little batch of these. It probably won't be anywhere close to 500. I'll probably try and grab about 150, maybe 200 of them here, and grab these like that, and then copy. Then I'm gonna come back over here and go into this box here where it says mailing list. Then I'm going to just paste them. Okay, so now they're all in there. So the next thing I want to do is I want to enter my email name. Now, I like to use my domain name because a lot of people, out of curiosity, they will go to your website. So you're always trying to think one step ahead and get the most out of everything that you're doing. So I put my website here, and it says GDI training at rondellmitchell.com. Now the reason I put GDI training right there is just to catch attention. But in the name section, I'm also going to put GDI training. And that's kind of being a little sneaky, because you remember I said that you always want to be transparent about what you're doing. But in this instance, my email address has my name in it already. So why not put GDI training? And then in the subject line, now the subject line is really what I was referring to when I said about being sneaky, because one way that a lot of people do this is they say, hey, I had a question about your business. And a lot of people, they get mad when you do that, because they think you're going to join their business and then you're trying to tell them about something else. So you can come up with your own subject line. I'm trying to think of something on on the fly here because it's already 7:34 and I still have a little bit more to show you. So let's go ahead and just say, hey, hey, can you call me? No, I don't want them to call me. Okay, hell with it. Let's just say, hey, I saw your, I saw your GDI business. Are you still active? Okay, so I saw your GDI business. Are you still active? So that, that necessarily is not saying that I want to join them. So I'm not really misleading anybody. So in the body here, let's just say, hey, I saw your GDI business and was curious if you are still active, question mark. If so, please contact me because I have a question for you. Period. Rondell. And that's that. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on preview, and the preview will actually show me how many names I entered in there. So I've got 175 people in there, and then I just click on send, and boom. So I could have emailed these people individually or whatever the case, but this thing works okay. I get pretty decent response rate from using this, so I've been using it a little bit, just testing it out, because bulk emailing can be extremely difficult for your emails to reach the inbox. And what I usually do, what I forgot to do that time, is I add my own email somewhere in the middle here so I can see if it came to my inbox or if it went to my spam box or if it came at all. So that's something that I tend to do just to make sure that the emails are actually hitting the inbox of the people that I'm sending them to. Okay, so basically what's going to happen is when these people get this message, they're going to respond back to me. Now, when they respond back to me, I'm basically just going to be flat out, and I'm just going to say, hey, listen, I don't know what's going on in your GDI business right now, but I came across this software what helps me get unlimited amounts of leads basically at the push of a couple buttons, and it can help you in your business. Are you interested in taking a look at it? And they're going to say yes or no, and that's that. That's so you have to detach yourself from the outcome and just do your job, because your only job is to show people what you have. And once you start to detach from all of the outcomes and the way people are going to respond to you and things like that, then you'll be okay, you'll be fine. Because I'm a very, very sensitive person sometimes. Sometimes I feel I feel like a person is yelling at me in an email. How can you tell what a person is thinking by reading a written word on in an email? But that's the way that we think. We all interpret things in our own way. And when you interpret things with a negative mindset, with a negative expectation, you're going to get negative results. So instead of thinking negatively, think about how many people you can help. If people don't want your help, then they're not they don't hate you. Just keep it moving. You don't have to attach yourself to it that way. Okay, so now that we have actually sent out the emails to these folks, now maybe I might want to give these a couple people a phone call. Okay, so do I want to call them all individually? Absolutely not. So, I mean, there's several different ways you can call them, and I'm going to give you a bonus tip right here, right now. So, if you have a pen and or a pencil nearby, what you want to do is write this website down. It is called Slydial. Slydial. SLYDIAL.com. I think it's like $2.99 a month. And what it does is it actually allows you to call people and it'll go directly to voicemail. So if you call a cell phone and slide dial somebody, it'll go directly to their voicemail. So you can do the exact same thing that we just did with the email, and you can actually slide dial a person and call them and say what I said. Hey, I saw your business online. I had a couple questions. Can you call me back? Period. End of story. Either they call you back or they don't. And there's a million different ways you can use slide dial. And I'm actually going to pull it up for you so you can see it for yourself, so you know you're in the right place if you decide to check it out. So that's what it looks like right there. And that's the slow way, though. That's the slow poke way. That's the Pony Express method of mail of contacting people. I mean, so that's a method for you to use. But why use slide dial and call one person at a time when you can use a tool like this and call 20,000 people at a time? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right back into my thing here and see if I can find the phone numbers for global domains. Okay, here we go. So let me download these, open it up, check for duplicates. $231 duplicates found, 213 remain. All right. So let me do that again, because I could have swore it only said that there was like 200 phone numbers to begin with. Okay, so let's do this one more time just to double check. Okay, yeah, so that's right. Okay, so now I'm going to do the exact same thing here, and I'm going to save this to my desktop. Now, what do we do next? What we're going to do next is we're actually going to go into the broadcasting software here. And it's 7:40, so there's more to this that I'm not going to have time to show you, because I like to keep my word. So I'm going to try not to go over 8 o'clock. So if I'm not done at 8 o'clock, maybe I'll do a part 2 to this next week. Okay, so let's go to the broadcast platform here and click on go to broadcast. And it's actually going to open up my phone broadcast software. So a lot of people, especially internet marketers and those guys out there, they are not necessarily very into phone broadcasting. Why is it not opening up? Okay. Okay, there we go. I was starting to get a little upset there because I thought it wasn't going to open up. Okay, so let me show you how to create a phone broadcast real quick. Now, in order for me to create a phone broadcast, all I have to do is click on create voice broadcast here, and then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go to this part here, and I'm going to name it so I know what it's for, global domains. Then you write your description, like what type of broadcast it was, so on and so forth. 6, put my caller ID name, my caller ID number, and set my never call before time, which would be 9 a.m. And telemarketers cannot call anyone after 9 p.m. So that is the never call after time. Now this area here says max agents. That's just the amount. If you wanted to help other people on your team get leads, you could actually designate other agents to receive leads as well. So the transfer to number is going to be the same thing that I use as my caller ID. Okay, and the transfer backup number I always use the same as well. Okay, now the dial rate, I only had 200 leads, 200 phone numbers to dial, So I'm just going to put it on 500 per hour. I could actually do 20,000 in an hour though with this software or more. Okay, so use AMD means use answering machine detection. I'm gonna skip. Okay, now my solo email is done here. If you're watching, that box just popped up. My solo email that I ran is over with. So it sent out 175 emails there. Okay, so I waited a little bit and send out another batch. Like I said, I could have done 750 at a time, once an hour. Okay, so leave a message. So if I wanted to, I could leave a message for people, but I'm not going to because I'm trying to save time. If I was to leave a message for people, I would have to actually record two messages. Okay, so transfer other DTMFs. I don't remember what that's for. Voicemail on transfer fail. No. Transfer key 1. Do not call key is number 9. Oops. Scroll down here and click. Hold on one second. Click on add phone cast. So basically now, I have only to go to my desktop here, find those leads, and add the file here. So let's go to my desktop. What was that file called again? Phone. Here we go. Grab this field here where it says phone and drag that to where it says column 1. Now that's phone. Prevent duplicates in my file. Prevent duplicate numbers against the do not call list, all that stuff. I prevent everything. Some people say not to prevent against the do not call list for different reasons, that is listed in our software because it can block numbers that don't need to be blocked, but I don't want to confuse you guys with that, so we'll just pass on that for now. Okay, so I just uploaded this file here, and in a second you should see the number change here. So right now it says 0 here, and in a minute it should actually say the amount of active leads that have been uploaded into it. Okay, so it says 168. Now check this out. This is why one of the reasons why I love phone broadcasting so much is because I can call one person for less than a penny. If my message that I leave for the people when I do my phone broadcast is under 30 seconds, it costs me 0.9 cents or 9/10 of a penny. If my message is a whole minute, then I pay 1.8 cents per call. So in the event that I call 168 people, if my message is 30 seconds or less, I can call 168 people for $1.68. If I wanted to call 1,000 people, I would only spend $10. If I wanted to call 10,000 people, I would spend $100. So a lot of people in big ticket programs, they use phone broadcasting and they make a killing, and they're not really telling people that they're using phone broadcasting. Okay, so now I have my leads in here. So the only other thing that I would have to do is add or upload a message. So I actually have some old messages in here, so I'm going to save some time, and I'm actually going to, this is not the way you should really do this, but I'm actually going to do it anyway. Let's see here. Set broadcast message. Okay, so let me grab my phone here and see if I can send myself a test message. and I'll put it on speakerphone so you guys can hear what they're going to hear too. Because the way you really want to do this is the message that I should be leaving them is saying, "Hey, I saw you were in Global Domains International. I know the way things are going with the economy and everything else, that there's a possibility that you might not be seeing the results in Global Domains that you want to see right now. So if you're interested in learning a way how you can increase your results in Global Domains by 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, go to this website or press 1 to be transferred now. You can either tell them to go to your website, you can tell them to press 1 and then they can be transferred to you directly, or they can press 1 and be transferred to your voicemail. So I'm going to just play this message here. Let me find the test call button. Okay, let me call myself here and see what happens. Okay. Hello? If I could show you a system to generate 5 figures a month, system that's going to do all the marketing for you, it's going to follow up for you, and it's even going to close all of your sales for you. The system even has a $1,000 cashback guarantee just for giving it a shot. Would you be interested in taking a look? If so, press 1 now or press 9 to be removed. Okay, so hopefully you guys could hear that because my cell phone doesn't work that well in my office sometimes, so the sound was a little bit low. So what I actually did there was sent a test call to myself so I could actually hear what these folks are going to hear. So it's not a bad message. It's definitely something that is worth using. So I'm going to actually send this off. And when you click right here, activate active voice broadcast, you'll know that your voice broadcast is active because all of these red dots over here, the one that is active will turn green. Okay, so I'm about to call 168 people, and they're going to hear the message that I just sent to myself. So basically, it's a message for my big ticket program that I'm in. So if they're in Global Domains and they're wanting to make more money, then they'll hear it, and if they're interested, then they'll join, or if not, then they don't join. But so the way that's set up here is actually when they when they um when they hear my message, they're going to do one of 2 things, or one of 3 things actually. Number 1, they're going to either press 1 to be transferred and actually hear what it is that I have to say, or they're going to try and contact me to find out what this is about. Number 2, they're going to press 9 so they can be placed on the do not call list. Or they're going to call the number that they see in their caller ID. Okay, now if you can see the screen, okay, again, these fields normally populate, and I'm glad that they're not populating where you can see the phone numbers, because I don't want to be sharing people's phone numbers like that and stuff. But you can see here that 4 people have already gone to the answer machine, and 6 people have answered the phone so far. Now it says 7. And I think what's happening is part of my software, and then I'm running Google Hangout and all this other stuff, and I think my computer is just running a little bit slower than it should. So I'm actually going to close some of this stuff out here, then go back real quick. Okay, so I guess it's probably been about. I started this broadcast at 7:51, and I've already had 16 people answer the phone. 12 people have gone to answering machines, and it's only been 2 minutes. And the thing is, I didn't leave a voicemail. I could have. So the people that are going to answer machines are not getting a message. It's basically hanging up on them because I didn't add a voicemail message. I actually could have, since I probably already had one pre-recorded, but I wasn't really sure if I was going to show you guys this on this hangout, but I want to show you how this thing works because phone broadcasting is the cheapest way for you to contact a ridiculous amount of people at one time. So basically, all you do with the phone broadcaster is you actually load up your software. Load up your account with funds. And I told you how much the rates are. It's 9/10 of a penny for 30 seconds, and it's 1.8 cents for 60 seconds. So you contact people that way. And if your message is compelling, you're coming across, you have something legitimate to show people, so on and so forth, then you're going to get results. Period. And it's all about being consistent. If you can remain consistent using this strategy, then then you're going to get results. So far 30 people have answered the phone. Nobody has requested to be placed on the do not call list just yet. And 16 people have gone to answering machines. So it looks like there's about 100 people still left to call. I think it's going a little slower too because I only set it for 500 calls per hour because I usually have it set for 2,000 calls per hour minimum. So that's probably why it's not done dialing already, because it should have actually been done dialing these 168 people. But let's go back over here. And another thing that you can actually do, I have 5 minutes left. So another thing that you can actually do is you can create unlimited sales funnels. So instead of actually creating one, I'm just going to show you an example of how one looks and let you see what this can do. Because actually what you want is when a person goes to your website, like if you were to send them to your website after they respond back from your email or from your phone broadcast, you want to put them in your sales funnel. So you send them to a website that has a form on it like this, where they enter their name, email, phone number, all of the above. They can just be just email, just phone numbers, up to you. But that gets them in your sales funnel. And you definitely want the email, because with the email, that's how you follow up on a consistent basis. Okay? And you set that up and you follow up with people, because most people aren't going to buy whatever it is that you have until after the 7th time that they've seen it. So if they haven't bought from you, you should have at least 7 to 10 follow-up messages prepared for them, so they can keep looking at what it is that you have, and eventually they're going to buy what you have, or they're going to unsubscribe from your email list. Okay, now this is another sales funnel page that I created with the software. And this one was for Explosio. So, if I was to contact Explosio reps, I just send them to this page. And if you guys are not familiar, an on-demand webinar is a webinar that you can do. Basically, similar to what I'm doing right now live, is you can take an on-demand webinar and you can actually make that webinar look like it's live. So, you can send people to an on-demand webinar, and what it actually does is it lets you put a timer on it. So if you want it to only show at 9 o'clock Monday through Friday, you can set it up that way. And you don't have to necessarily make the presentation yourself. If somebody in your company or your program has made the presentation and they're interested in you're interested in taking their presentation and creating an on-demand webinar, then you just copy the video and put it up. But, I can get more into sales funnels and on-demand webinars on another training. It is currently 7:58, and again, being punctual is something that I take seriously. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here as far as what's going on with this tool suite. Now, what I did do is I actually let me come back over here and turn off this screen share here. Okay, let me figure out how to turn that off because I didn't want to turn that back on. Okay, where the heck is it at? It kind of disappeared on me. It should be something there for me to. Man, my face is greasy. It should be something there for me to turn the screen share off, but whatever. What I did is on this page here, you should see this button right now where it says take a tour. So what I've done is I've linked a button underneath the video that you're watching, and that button says take a tour, and I just refreshed the page and made it go away because it was a timed button. But basically you can see it on your page. It's underneath this video and it says take a tour. So what you want to do, click on that button. If you want to learn more about how this software works and how you can make money from it, not only in your primary business, but also referring others to the software, you're actually going to make a very nice commission. I threw together a compensation plan video that shows you how we get paid when we refer other people to Automatic Lead Tools, okay? So go ahead and check that out if you're interested. I hope you got some value out of what I shared with you here tonight. This is actually the first training that I've done where I actually tried to show people something that they have to really pay any type of significant money for. But you know, I'm showing you what works, and that's really what my main concern is just showing you what works. And you can see here the phone broadcast is probably about over now, I would suspect, and I've only spent $1. So I called 114 people and I spent $1.05. Where else can you do that? You can't do that anywhere else. You can spend $100 for a stupid solo ad to contact 100 people, and you know only a handful of them are going to open your emails when you get them on your list. If you do a $100 solo ad for 100 people, if you get lucky, you might get 50, maybe 60 people to opt into your autoresponder. And then out of those 60 people, only maybe 20 of them will open any of the emails that you send to them ever again. So you know you can do that, or you can contact 100 people for $1. You know, what makes more sense? Do you want to spend $100 on a $100 solo ad, or do you want to spend $1 and call 100 people that you already know are in a business? You know, you have to think smart, folks. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about, is thinking smart and marketing smarter, okay? So that's it for this video. So again, if you guys are still on the page and you see the take a tour button underneath here, just click on the take a tour button. It's going to show you how to how the compensation plan works for Automatic Lead Tools. Is going to show you how much it costs to get started and everything. And if it's something that you feel like you want to do, I will teach you exactly what to say when you do phone broadcasts. I'll teach you what to do when you do your emails and everything like that. And I'll also add you to my training site, because I have my own training site that I offer to my teammates in whatever business you join me in. It doesn't matter what company that we work together in. If you want to be in my team training site, I'll add you. You know, it's not a big deal. And I have tons and tons of material in there that will make you a better marketer, make you better at what it is that you're doing, and help you make more money. Okay, so that's it, folks. It's 8:03. I went 3 minutes past the time frame that I wanted to go, but I appreciate you all being here. And I will be back again next Monday with some new content to train on. So make sure you plug in next Monday, and we will get to it next Monday. So thanks again, everybody. I'll talk to you guys later.